Hey, everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by your local Ford store and Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me as we broadcast live from the Xfinity studio, it is Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor, and Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. Yay. It's been about a month. Brenna producing. I don't know if the four of us have been on the show together.
Who even are you
since,
people?
Like the draft.
It's been a long time.
It's been forever. But it's we had yesterday off because we have the live show coming to you Saturday. We'll talk about more. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Sure will.
But we are we're almost getting to season mode, Charlie. Your vacations are over.
Yep.
We're all kind of in hockey mode here. I thought it was interesting. We get the rookie camp schedule right as we're all back together. Like, okay, it's hockey season now.
Yep.
It has dropped. Before we get into all of that, though, I got to tell you about a couple of things going on here at PHLY. First, across the entire All City network, it is Big Brothers Big Sisters month. Now, as you saw last week, we are soliciting some donations. Please, if you can, absolutely give a few dollars to the Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, because it is a great it's a great program. But what they need just as much as your money is your time. If you would love to sign up, maybe play a role in the lives of the next generation, the youth, as a mentor, a friend, whatever it might be, check out Big Brothers Big Sisters. There's a link right there on our YouTube page. Make sure you check it out. They are looking for Big Brothers and Big Sisters to be bigs for kids, help them with their education, help them avoid risky behaviors, and just make their lives a little bit better. If you have the time, think about volunteering for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Also, we have launched the Supporters Club. We have a new way for you to support PHLY directly. You sign up right here on the YouTube page, and for just as little as $5 a month, you can get all sorts of new fun emojis. As more people sign up, more emojis become available. They are pertaining to each of the inside jokes and different fun things for each show. We have, I think there's a well, that's good one, which is really
Billism.
There's a Billism.
Billism.
Yo.
How many Billisms are there? Probably a lot of just stuff I mispronounce. Yeah, just stuff I can't say, so it's a Billism.
Do we have It's a Rebuild, Charlie, yet?
Yeah, it's a rebuild, Charlie. That's
got to be like a second tier one, in my opinion.
If you go for the $15 a month, the VIP, we're going to be producing all sorts of behind the scenes footage, and there's going to be benefits for that. So make sure you sign up to become one of our supporters here on YouTube. It's basically like Die Hard for YouTube is pretty much what it is. Cool. All right, let's do it. And hit the like button. Yeah. 34 likes, not enough. We have the whole gang together. We need like 600 likes today.
Rookie numbers.
Yeah, we really need to blow it out because it's been...
pump up those numbers.
It's been a while since we've had the whole group. All right, so the rookie camp schedule is out, and it's here, guys. Hockey season is upon us on Thursday.
We are so back.
Yeah, some would say we've never left.
We really didn't.
On Thursday, they are going to have their first rookie camp practice at 11 a.m. Remember, you can go to Voorhees. All this stuff is free.
Yeah.
You can just go and watch rookie camp and check out the next generation of Flyers and all that. But then it starts on Friday. There's a morning skate, and then there's the first rookie game up in Allentown. Saturday, the second rookie game, and that is where we will be. We will be in Allentown on Saturday. You see our schedule for this upcoming week. So I think we're 2 to 4. Brand, is that 2 to 3 to 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little over an hour show.
Little over an hour
show. Gonna have a lot of guests.
Gonna have some guests. Gonna have some fun. We're gonna be up at the PPL Center, joined by some members of the Flyers organization to talk about rookie camp and this upcoming season. So make sure you check us out there. And then I think they have an off day somewhere. Yes,
it's Sunday, so we can watch football.
Sunday, we can all watch football.
Yeah.
And Monday, Tuesday, rookie camp concludes. And then, I assume, it's real camp.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. And then we never sleep again.
Yeah. And then Charlie is just in work mode.
My guess, based on the schedule, is that Wednesday is probably going to be the media
check-in day.
Well, they call it media day, but what it really is for the rights holders. It's the day when the players take all their pictures and videos with NBC Sports Philadelphia. So they have all of those that they can use in broadcast and whatever. So we don't get access to them. And then Thursday, my guess, will be the first actual day of main camp. I don't know if that for a fact, but based on the way they've done it in the past, I would guess that's how it goes.
Travis Konechny creepily staring into the camera as he tapes his stick, stuff like that during the broadcast.
Everyone like ominously going like this.
Yep.
Yeah, they all
look down and then look up,
trying out for their modeling careers. Like maybe they're gonna put out a calendar, like in Shores.
Like in Shores.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
that would be great.
Beautiful. But rookie camp is important. It's important, and we'll get into that in a little bit more detail tomorrow. I feel like tomorrow and over the next couple of days. It's important because obviously this is the opportunity for a number of players at rookie camp. Not all. A lot of the guys at rookie camp have zero chance of making the team, which I break down in my articles on allphly.com. Check those out. They're both up, the part 1 and part 2 of my rookie camp preview. But there are a lot of guys at this camp that at least have non-zero chances. Some in single digits, but quite a few in double digits percent-wise of making this team out of camp. And if they start out rookie camp strong, if they impress in the rookie games, the way Matvei Michkov did, the way that other guys who have made the teams in the past have, that's a great way to start. Because if you can take apart the easier competition, it's a nice little like feather in your cap going into main camp. You're thinking, okay, Alex Bump, he scored 2 goals and had 2 assists across the 2 rookie games. Now he has to show he can do it against NHL competition, but this is probably a step up from college level competition. A lot of these are pro guys and whatnot. So it's important. It's an important first step getting to main camp and giving these guys a chance to get off on the right foot.
I remember last year we were a bunch of us were sitting together when we did the giveaways for this, and I'm told we might be doing something similar this year, but stay tuned for that. I remember, like, as the game went on, at that first rookie game, we were watching. Oh yeah, man, Matvei Michkov is just above a lot of these guys out here. But to start that game, Jed Luchenko looked like, oh man, is he just as good as Michkov? Like it looked like, and I think maybe just impressing in that way, being like, well, he's too good for this. Is the first step to him at least getting a longer look into the regular season.
Agreed.
And maybe we have something similar like that unfold this year. All right. It's been a while. Since we have all been together, and Charlie, everyone around the office has been laughing because I cursed at you all last week. I'm like, he's putting out articles and he's not here to talk about them. This is BS. Like, I was like, I'm mad that Charlie is working Charlie's working even when he's not. That was making me upset for some reason. So I
wrote the articles the week before. I just scheduled them for last week.
So while you were away, you put out the top 20 prospects and your conversations with Brent Flahr. And I want to get into that stuff before we get into the rookie camp stuff over the next couple of days. And I just want to start with the top 20. And I'll work from the bottom up because we had some conversations about this stuff, but you're the one, you and Alex Appleyard are the ones who actually came up with the list. So wanted to get your take on a lot of the things we've said over the last few days. So starting from the bottom, and as you can see, there's only 19 because Luchenko and Zavragin were both number 2, and we'll talk about that.
So you don't do the because we had a 20, right?
Was Max
Westergaard was
on the one list? On the top 20 list, it stopped at 19.
Interesting.
And then in your Brent Flahr conversation, Westergaard was listed as 20, and I just wondered if you did that.
Oh, geez, I that was just a pure mistake on my part. I thought for sure I had him in there.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I just because you were like, we have one more guy.
Now you've got me feeling very insecure, so now I got to look. Because if it was my mistake, I need to fix that immediately.
Well, I don't have that much to say about Westergaard regardless.
Fair.
So where I wanted to start was the last.
Oh, he's in there.
Oh, he is in there.
Okay.
Well,
nice Westergaard's in there.
Maybe I just missed him somehow.
Okay.
All right, well, that's my fault.
As long as it's your mistake and not mine, I'm cool.
I think this was planted for me to mess up somehow. Anyway, I have very little to say about Max Westergaard. Maybe we'll get to him later.
Fair.
19, Aleksei Kolosov.
Yes.
Curious.
I can't believe he made the list.
Well,
Charlie.
blame Alex because I ranked Aleksei Kolosov 22nd because the way we do it for a little behind the curtain stuff, both of us rank 25 guys.
Okay.
And then I give out the, it's very simple. It's like,
the average.
First, the guy we pick first gets 25 points. The guy we pick 25th gets 1 point. And then I just combine the two. So I picked him 22nd. I ranked him 22nd. Alex ranked him 17th. And that's what got him up into the top 20. If it was just my list, he would not have made it. But because this is a collaboration between myself and Alex Appleyard, and Alex is still higher on the theoretical promise of Aleksei Kolosov, that's why he made the list.
It's going to come in. It's funny because it's going to come in when we get to Berglund at 17. Like, I thought, okay, well, I looked at the ranking each of you had, and Alex being overseas is like, well, maybe he has more exposure to this player, and so maybe he's just more positively predisposed because he's seen him more. But then when you get to Berglund, it was actually the other way.
Alex has never been a Berglund.
Yeah, he's just not that.
He's never been a fan.
So Kolosov, like, I just don't expect him to be a part of the organization. We talked last week. Yeah. My guess is if he actually does show, which it seems like they're kind of expecting him to.
They're expecting him to come. Doesn't mean he will.
Yeah.
They're expecting him to come, at least based on the communication they've had with him over the last few months.
I feel like and if you do show up, because of that goodwill, we will not hold you hostage. We will trade your rights. Like, that is how I see this going, just with no inside information whatsoever. It is pure speculation, but I guess because of his age and his accomplishments elsewhere, he's still, like, being the worst goalie in the league is tough, but he just wasn't ready. Do we kind of have to put that out of our mind because he's just not NHL ready yet? And when he is, he'll look much different?
No, I don't know, because, like, that's a thing that happened. Like, we saw it happen. He was given an opportunity that he, like, pretty much insisted on, like a big wet baby, and he did absolutely nothing with it. So, like, I don't think you can just, like, wipe it away and be like, well, he just wasn't ready. Well, he thought he was, and he insisted that he was, and turns out he wasn't even a little bit ready. So he didn't make the Broad Street Hockey 25 under 25.
Yeah, he was unlisted on the top 25 under 25.
Didn't make it.
And now, as we talked about, like, that list is a little different because, like, Tyson Forster's on that list.
It's got guys on it.
Michkov is on that list. There's other players to push him out.
Right.
But the fact that he actually made the top 20, and it's just prospects, but it was surprising to me because you're so down on him, and it seems as if pretty much everybody is.
I think people are just sick of him. They're sick of the entire.
There's that too.
There's a lot of Kolosov fatigue because it just seems so ridiculous. Where, look, people will be willing to accept a guy with a high view of himself. And people in Philadelphia still love Terrell Owens, despite the fact that he had an enormous ego. You know why? Because when he was on the field, he was awesome. They'll be willing to accept a guy with a big ego who wants special treatment. But then you have to justify the special treatment. And I think what really turned people off from Kolosov was that he wanted special treatment. He wanted to be in the NHL, despite the fact that he really hadn't earned it. And then when he got games in the NHL, he was mostly bad, usually terrible. To me, like, I still look at him and I still see a guy who could be an NHL goalie. He's clearly not that now. I think he has the raw talent to do it.
Probably.
But number one, I don't think it's going to be in this organization. I think that my guess is that this is heading towards a divorce in some way, whether that's him going back to Belarus, whether that's him getting traded to another organization. I just don't think it's going to happen here. And I tend to drop guys down my list where I don't think it's going to happen here. The other thing, and this is a non-zero, like, this is not an unimportant thing about him and his development. He basically just lit a year of development on fire.
Yeah.
Like, this past year was an important year for Aleksei Kolosov in terms of getting better as a goalie. And instead, I don't know if he developed at all, because when he played, he was bad in the NHL. He was bad in the AHL. He sat for long periods of time. Like, this was not a good developmental year for him. And there's a world where this may have stunted his development. This may have stunted his growth as a goalie. And the raw talent we saw 2 years ago, you might never be able to turn that into something workable at the highest level of hockey because he lit a very important year on fire because he refused to play in the AHL.
He's still young. He'll be 24 on January 4th, but that's not 21. You know, like, goalies take longer. We know it's different, but it's not as if he's got this long developmental runway, as we like to say. Like, he is kind of getting to the age where you need to start becoming what you're going to be. And if he just completely threw away a year, it's going to be difficult for that to happen.
Yeah, it's harder. So I don't think that's something that can be ignored. And then there's also just the simple facts that, like, he was never a true blue chip goalie prospect even to begin with. He's on the smaller side. Like, there were reasons to be skeptical of him even before any of this happened. And now he's burned a developmental year, and we don't know if there's really any rehabilitating his relationship with the Flyers to the point where he could be part of their plan for the long term.
Yeah, I think I'd be more willing to accept him as a project, both kind of like attitude-wise and play-wise, if we didn't have Bjarnason and Zavragin in the system. Like, because I feel like I can just look past Coley and be like, one of these guys is probably going to be better than him anyway. So, bye.
Yeah, and like looking ahead, you see Zavragin tied at number 2, and it's, well, all right, we have 2 goalies in the top 10, you know? I don't know how crazy, or no, Bjarnason's 11, excuse me.
I think I had him in the top 10.
Oh, yeah,
well, Alex.
That's all that counts for me.
Alex isn't here.
Yeah, Alex isn't here to defend himself,
so we can say whatever we want about him.
He's also on vacation while all this came out, which made it very difficult for me.
He's European.
You make my life hard is all that matters. Yeah, they're always on vacation.
No one in Europe works in the month of August.
Their lives
they have a civilized society.
All right,
I respect that.
Coming in at 17 is Jack Berglund, and the thing I wanted to ask you about is your ranking actually being higher than Alex's. He's just on Berglund.
Yeah, I think he's just on Berglund. He sees a guy who's a bottom 6 center. But it's worth noting that there are people in the industry that think very highly of Jack Berglund, especially after his really strong performance at the World Junior Summer Showcase. If I remember correctly, and we were chatting about this before the show, Kelly, about Corey Pronman's recent redraft. I believe he has Jack Berglund as a first-round pick in that redraft. I think he's him right behind Jet.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. So there are people in the industry who look at Jack Berglund and they see, a big center with strong hockey IQ who maybe has underrated offensive upside because thus far in his career, he's mostly played in bottom of the lineup roles when he's gotten time in the SHL. There's, I guess, a world where Berglund becomes maybe something like center Oscar Lindblom. And like, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Nice player.
Yeah. So there are people in the industry that think higher of him certainly than Alex does, but even higher of him than I do, because I'm skeptical of the foot speed. And I don't know if I see high-end offensive talent, but hey, at the World Junior Summer Showcase, what was it, last month? In August, July, one of those months, looked pretty darn good. Performed quite well. So, hey, maybe this is the start of something for him.
All right, like Gill and Knuble, I think we're going to talk a little bit more about those guys tomorrow when we get to defensemen and centers and things.
Knuble, I think, because Knuble got completely ignored by Pronman in his redraft. I think he might be one of the most underrated players in their prospect pool.
That's very interesting.
I mean, just to see,
thought he was a Nepo pick.
To see a lot of minds changed in a pretty short order about Knuble has been interesting. We'll get into some of that tomorrow, but I want to go to 13 and Samu Tuomaala, because my question for you, Charlie, is if you had to put money on it right now, would you bet yes or no on him playing NHL games for the Flyers this season?
Yeah, I think he gets in a game or two. It's his last year of his contract. They're going to want to see. And the thing is he's produced at the AHL level. So he's not necessarily going to be the guy they call up if, a third liner goes down. But if they hit a rash of injuries at the top of the lineup, maybe they toss him in there and maybe they give him a look. My understanding of their biggest frustration with Tuomaala, and I spoke to this on Twitter today. I think I was having a conversation with Dan Silver on Twitter. And a lot of this is based on the conversation I've had with people like Brent Flahr, is that they look at their future depth chart. I mean, Tuomaala is a natural right wing. Sure, he could probably play the left because everybody can play both sides if they have to, but he's more of a natural right wing. Is he going to play over Matvei Michkov? Nah. Is he going to play over Travis Konechny? Nah. Is he going to play over Tyson Forster? Nah. Is he going to play over Owen Tippett? Probably not. So, like, well, Kelly.
Just kidding. That was a joke.
So they're looking at it as this guy is not going to be in a scoring role with us. And in the AHL, he pretty much has exclusively wanted to play a top sixer style. If he's going to be a future Philadelphia Flyer, he's going to have to adjust. He's going to have to adjust to being more of a third line energy speed guy who chips in offense here and there. It's great to have good third liners, but he's not going to be a top sixer. It seems like they want him to maybe have a little bit of like reprogramming the same way Scott Laughton did.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And thus far, he has not been willing or able to do it. That's where they're at with him, I think.
Interesting.
And that's like looking at that conversation with Brent Flahr when he said that. That's why I asked you about getting games this year, because it seems like unless maybe he had that reprogramming this summer and he comes in and he's willing to block shots and kill penalties and whatever. But unless we have like a Michkov or TK 2-week injury, they're like, we got other guys. That's what it felt like reading the interview.
Yeah.
When he said, well, you got to be able to put yourself in the lineup, and we got these two guys in that role already. Where's he gonna fit? Like, that's what I kind of read there.
Where did Tuomaala end up in the BSH list? Did he make it?
He did. I think he did. Let me see.
Because he's just such an interesting guy, because the production has been there. Now, not at an elite level at the AHL level, but in a pretty good spot. Like, he's scoring points. I noted this morning on Twitter that aside from Aleksei, he has the second most points of anybody over the last 2 years on the Phantoms. Like, he's scoring. It's just that they don't think he's going to be, and maybe he can be a scorer on another NHL team that isn't as deep. Maybe if there's expansion, he could go there and play on a second line. But on this team, they're deep on the wing. He's going to need to play a bottom six role if he wants to stick with the Flyers.
Can you imagine? I know
23.
it was
23, so he did make it. Okay, but he was pretty low.
Yeah.
It was Belmar with the Golden Knights, right? Who did Seattle take in the expansion?
Seattle took Carson Twarynski.
One of the guys Steve and I couldn't remember. Like, Twarynski, Lazinski, Bunneman, these are all the same guy.
Same guy.
I mean, they kind of.
How funny would it be if there's another expansion? And it's like, we'll take Samu Tuomaala. It's like 3 expansions the Flyers have lost nobody. And not to say Belmar's nobody, but like, you're worried about losing actual top 9 guys. And that's not the case. That would just be funny, the fact that you brought that up. All right, before we go any further with today's show, let's take our first commercial break. Listen, we've all been there. Football Sunday at your buddy's, and he's almost got the full setup. Maybe he's got a bar, maybe he's got the outdoor TV, whatever it is. He thinks he has the best possible fan cave, and then there's buffering, there's freezing. It's just, you're trying to go between apps to get everything working, and it's just not happening. Why? Because he doesn't have Xfinity. Because if you call yourself a sports fan of any kind, you gotta have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. And the way I watch, it is next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, so clear it feels like I'm in the arena. Sometimes I've got 4 games going at once, because why not have the quad box going? They offer it. Why not use it? On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats right on my television. It's the best seat in the house every single time. So next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box. And while we're here, let's talk about the Ford Explorer. It's America's all-time best-selling SUV. It's got a legacy of family trust and performance. It offers 3-row seating for up to 7 passengers. Great for families and road trips. I've been on a number of road trips. You're going to want that 3rd row. Doing it without the 3rd row makes everything much more difficult. It's available in rear-wheel drive and intelligent 4-wheel drive for better traction and control. Comes with a choice of 3 powertrains, including a hybrid for better fuel economy. The hybrid model offers up to 500 miles of driving range. It's a great balance of power and economy. It's packed with Ford Copilot 360, a suite of advanced driver assist features. The terrain management system's pretty awesome. You select between modes like snow, sand, and tow/haul. So whatever you're up to, your car's on the same page as you. And the rear seat passenger, you can get available captain's chairs for extra comfort. It's built for families, but ready for adventure. It's a true do-it-all SUV. For more information, visit your local Ford store. And we thank Ford and the local Ford stores for being our presenting sponsor. All right, so that's Samu. Now we get into the top 10. And my first question, like Carson Bjarnason, we'll learn about him. Carter Amico, he's a while away. Nikita Grebenkin, I was just very interested that he makes your top 10 as a prospect, just because I feel like we just don't know what the ceiling is. Like, he's a guy who I think is going to be in the NHL, and maybe it's as simple as that. Like, he's going to do something. That's good. Well, that's good. But he comes in at 10 for you guys. What was the thinking there? Like, are you just much higher on what he could be, or is it just that he's got so many tools, one of them is going to work out?
Well, I think Alex is very high on him.
Okay.
And a lot of that comes from the fact that Grebenkin already succeeded in the KHL, and Alex watched him, obviously not in Russia, but he watches a lot of European games, whether it's Sweden, whether it's Finland, whether it's Russia. He's watching a lot of those games, and he came away very impressed by what he saw from Grebenkin before he came over to join the Toronto organization officially prior to the trade that brought him to Philly. So I think a lot of this is residual from his positive view of Grebenkin in Russia when he was a quality forward in the KHL at a very young age. And then last year, he got some time in the NHL. He played a little bit for Toronto.
He played 7 games.
It didn't look totally out of place. And then, put up decent enough numbers in the AHL. I'm intrigued by Grebenkin. I said this after the trade. And again, maybe I'm being irrational, but I preferred getting a guy like Grebenkin to a guy like Fraser Minton, because my thing is Grebenkin is more intriguing to me rather than just getting another big third line center. Like, I don't need another one of them. They're drafting two of them every year.
Yeah.
Like, Grebenkin is interesting because he's got the size. He's a winger. He could maybe be a good net front guy. He could maybe bring some physicality, some grit. He could play a quality fourth line role, or maybe move further up the lineup. So I don't know. I'm intrigued by Grebenkin. I'm intrigued to see what he can do with this camp.
Yeah, we talked a lot about him last week. Kind of the same thing, that because we don't know exactly what he can be. I feel like there's a lot of like, maybe he's a boat type of vibe here. But
Fair.
like, I think the size and the fact that, for me, it seemed like Toronto fans were a little bummed that he was part of that trade.
Yeah.
Which always makes me think, like, I know that fan bases kind of like, overhype their own guys. Right, exactly.
And he was a very likable guy too.
Yeah. But, it kind of makes you think for a second, like, why are you so mad that he got traded? That's interesting. And he, like you said, he didn't look bad in the NHL. And it's interesting to think that, because for so long, the team was so focused on size without anything behind it. And it seems like they're really starting to end up with some guys who definitely have the size, but also might have a little something else there that they could bring. And it's interesting to see what he's going to look like, I think, in like a full camp situation where he really has a shot to make the team.
Here's my question about Grebenkin, and you brought this up a little with the just in terms of maybe he could play a fourth line role with Brent Flahr and stuff. Is right now, like, I got a mailbag question a week or two ago. What's your power play one? And it's like, well, I got to have Sean Couturier on it because he's one of the few guys who can get to the net. Also, you probably need to win the faceoff, and he's the only one who can do that.
That is true.
Like, it would be nice to win the faceoff, have the puck. But like, okay, so I'm putting Coots power play one in front of the net. Who's doing it on power play two? Like, Grebenkin has just as good of a chance to do that as anyone on this team.
Yeah.
If you can find a spot for him, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, especially like a new coaching staff coming in and being like, this is one of the problems with this team.
Yeah.
This is why they were the 4th worst team in hockey last year, on top of, the goaltending, and that's kind of just got to work itself out. But this is a thing the coaches can control. Maybe we have a guy who, in the final 40 seconds of the power play, we put them on and he can help, not be 0%.
Right, and it's the possibility of a fourth line, especially as we've talked about, Bill, like the idea of maybe Jet making the team as a fourth line center. The idea that you could have a fourth line with like a little bit of skill on it, not just, Delorier and Hathaway, who, do what they can.
Sure.
But They're not who I want Jet Luchenko playing.
And that's if it's Jet, like
definitely not Delorier.
No, that's if it's Jet with Grebenkin and Hathaway.
Yeah, that's
suddenly I'm like, oh yeah, give them 12 minutes.
Yeah,
you know,
right?
Why not?
Yeah,
see how that works.
Like I think Hathaway is. I think I said this in our Discord. Like to me, Hathaway is the platonic ideal of a veteran fourth liner.
Yes,
he's actually good. His underlying numbers are legitimately really good, and he's a really good teammate who will stick up for his guys. You know, if somebody's beating up on Jet Luchenko and he's on his line, Hathaway's going to be the first one in. Now, Delorier obviously brings that as well, but he doesn't bring the. And I'm not saying Hathaway's going to score a ton of points, but he doesn't bring the offensive upside of Hathaway. He doesn't bring the ability to control possession the way Hathaway does. So, like, I mean, to me. And maybe this is a little much for them just because it would be too. But yeah, if it's like a Grebenkin on the left, Luchenko in the middle, Hathaway on the right, I mean, suddenly that's an intriguing fourth line.
It's size. You're protecting the young guys a little with a veteran who will knock you out. Like, I think it works. Like, I don't know if that's the direction they're going to go. We'll see. That's what camp is for.
Right.
Yep.
But thinking about it right now, I don't think it's the end of the world. Like, I think that's a pretty damn good fourth line, especially for a team that is still not sure what it is yet. Like the players have not answered when will the rebuild end. I think it's a decent way to go.
And I think you touched on a big thing, a big hope with Grebenkin. And this is a hope that I have with a lot of the guys they took this year, guys like Vansaghi, guys like Nesbitt. It has been such a problem for this team since they traded Wayne Simmons. Of not having that net front guy on the power play. It's hurt them at even strength too, but it's really hurt them on the power play. They just haven't had anybody. They don't have anybody that can do it the way it should be done. And Grebenkin at least provides that possibility that maybe this guy can set screens. Maybe this guy can gobble up rebounds. Maybe he has the combination of the toughness to take the punishment, but also just enough skill to be able to do something there, like not just be a Ryan White.
No, somebody like, can someone please
That's
for this team? Hey, Ryan White, I think he filled in at the end of a season when Wayne Simmons was hurt. Actually looked pretty good in the power play in that role. But
he was power play 2 guy.
I loved Ryan White.
I'll never
always looked like he needed a cigarette.
I'll never
That was
forget
Ryan White.
I'll never forget 2 things about Ryan White. First thing was him being the one guy who after the bracelet game said, I would have thrown bracelets. And then the other thing was the interview that RJ Umberger did after that season that Ryan White played on Power Play 2. And basically Umberger was just like, somebody asked him about his usage. And Umberger by then was cooked. I mean, everybody could see he was cooked. But Umberger basically said, you know, I thought I could have been on Power Play 2, you know, given like who we had out there. And it was very much like, well, if you're going to throw Ryan White out there, at least let me be on the power play.
That 15-16 season, I will never forget it. Umberger scored his first goal in his 33rd game of the season. He ended with 2. He played 39. That was, and listen, like his body was just shot.
No, he had a good career. He had a great
career.
That was cooked the second go.
We did the best case, worst case, and I said Alex Bump, like for a rookie. Best case scenario in my mind is rookie RJ Umberger. 20 goals, a good solid role player. You're looking to expand his role going forward. Like it was great. It was just like his body is cooked by the end when they brought him back in the Hartnell trade. All right. We've talked a ton about Bump. I don't know how much we need to talk about him. Your number 4 or 5 prospect.
5th.
At 2, Jet Luchenko, number 2, makes sense. The one of the most recent first-round picks, one of the highest first-round picks. And then Zavragin at number 2. That's just interesting to me because he seems so far away still.
Does he though?
Well, he's got 2 more years left on his deal. So we'll see.
Didn't somebody else supposed to take 3 years to get over?
But the coach, like, presumably, Zavragin's KHL coach doesn't hate him. Like,
we'll see. Hopefully,
we'll see.
Hopefully he gets playing time. Hopefully he gets playing time.
Yeah, like
he's real good.
Presumably that's the case, and it's just like I don't know, a young goalie to me. There's just so much variance, but I guess you're both high enough on him that he comes in as tied for the second best prospect with this team.
Yeah,
I have them individually.
I had him 3rd, and then Alex had him 2nd. And we basically just like, there's a reason why him and Luchenko were tied. Yeah, we just flipped it. I had Luchenko 2nd and Zavragin 3rd. He had Zavragin 2nd and Luchenko 3rd. The reason why I had him below Luchenko is just because he's a goalie. Like, truthfully, that's the reason, is that I can never fully trust. I even struggled back in the day to put Carter Hart number 1. because it was like, he's a goalie.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. Like, I think he's going to be good. I think he's at least going to be a quality NHL starter, and he has star level potential. But I don't know. He could just come up to the NHL and become goalie version of Markel Fultz and forget how to catch pucks. Like, I don't know. They're weird.
Goalies are weird, man. But there it is. And then Martone at number 1.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Was there any question? Because I think there was no question. The line, like, from 1 to 2, how steep do you think that is? Just in, like, you have the point system, so it's only going to be so much. It's like boxing. Like, well, the guy who lost the round still got 8 out of 10 points, But, like, in your mind, Porter Martone is how much better than the guys at 2?
That's a good question. I mean, I think Porter Martone is, if not a 10 out of 10 prospect, at least like 9.5. Whereas I think Luchenko and Zavragin, like, I think we talked about this during the summer, that I think the difference between Zavragin and Martone is that Martone, his upside is star, NHL star. Zavragin's upside, I also think, is NHL star. Zavragin's downside is he never comes over from Russia and he just stinks when he tries to translate his game to the NHL. Martone's downside is like good third line winger who's on your power play too. Like, that's worst case scenario.
Yeah,
and
like,
that's the big difference, is that even the worst case scenario with Martone is pretty good.
Yeah, like, I bet he scores.
It's a disappointment, but it's not bad.
I bet he scores 20.
Yeah,
in the worst case scenario, I bet you he puts in 20, like 35 point, whatever, Yeah, and that's just the question mark with goalies.
Yeah.
Is like, who the hell knows, man? Yeah, his ceiling is star, but so too is every goalie who's ever laced him up.
That's
and
true.
Nobody knows the difference until they're there.
Ceiling is floor. Ceiling is floor.
The ceiling is
Vezina.
Yeah.
Floor is Aleksei Kolosov.
Yeah,
Every single one of them.
Real estate license.
It is worth noting, though, that in that the redraft for Corey Pronman that came out today for 2023, he has michkov at number 4, which fair. I might take him too, but like, I get it. Fantilli and Carlson, potential 1Cs. He's a potential top line winger. Okay, fine. You're still taking the center. At 13, he's got Oliver Bonk, and at 14, Egor Zavragin. In the redraft, going mid-first round. So Corey Pronman, say what you will, you may disagree with him on some things. He is a Zavragin believer. That's kind of cool.
All right, just before we wrap up top 20 and go to the next thing, hit the ad and all that. Was there anything else that stood out to you, like putting the list together with Alex, whether it's differences in your opinions and grades, like stuff I didn't talk about that you think is interesting with the top 20? Was there anything that was like, oh, this?
Yeah, I just think the big difference between, and this was always the case, but it probably happens more now. The big difference between the way that we rank players is I am very much taking into account where they stand in the organization, and also how likely a player of that type is to get an extended look at the NHL level. Whereas Alex is much more looking at just like, what's my view of their raw upside? Like, for example, I put Denver Barkey 8th, he put Denver Barkey 5th. And for me, it's that, honestly, guys with his height, weight combo, who are wingers, they often bust. Now, I'm hopeful that Denver Barkey will not bust, but it's not a profile that often leads to NHL success. It certainly can. We've seen it before. But number one, it's a risky profile. Number two, when you're small, you're just not going to get as many looks. Like, compare that to Jack Nesbitt, who I had 6th and Alex had 10th. Like, my view is that I think Nesbitt is far more likely to get a long look at the NHL level than Barkey is, because of, number one, his pedigree, but also because he's huge and he's a center. So for me, it's like, I'm looking a little bit more at, because to me, if you're not getting the opportunity, you're more likely to be viewed as a bust. Whether you deserved it or not, you got to get it. Yeah. And guys like Nesbitt and guys like Berglund are more likely to get multiple opportunities than somebody like Barkey or somebody like Alex Ciernik, who, like, yeah, their raw talent may be higher, but it's just the reality of the organization and the reality of the NHL. So I think that was like the big thing. This was the first year where there was a real big gap on those kinds of players. And maybe it's partially that I'm changing and looking at it like I saw an entire generation of Flyers prospects flop, and I'm looking at like why they flopped. And some of it was, yeah, well, I liked Aleksei, but he was a smallish winger without super high-end skill. he never really got like a look on the first line. And I don't know if he was ever going to.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly why your list, I think, is one of the more interesting ones. It's always more interesting to me when these are a group effort because everyone evaluates these things so differently. Like, people take a million different things into account, like vibes, potential, numbers. Like you're saying, that the way the organization looks at them. And that, I think, paints a more interesting picture than the ones where it's just like, Corey Proman's deciding who's the number one overall pick now.
It's his
more
personal
interesting
view.
to me. Yeah.
And the same thing with Kolosov. Like, I had Kolosov lower than Alex did because I'm looking at it as, I don't know if he has a future in this organization. Alex is looking at it as, well, 2 years ago, I thought really highly of him, and I still think he's a really talented goalie, so I'm not going to dump him in my rankings because I think he's good. Same thing with Tuomaala. I had Tuomaala lower than Alex because I'm like, ooh, where does he fit? And Alex is like, I like that skill set.
He can play.
Yeah.
All right, and I think it's good to have those things. That's why you include both rankings.
Yeah.
Underneath the overall. I think it's so you just get a look at what everyone thinks. All right. And with that, let's take that second commercial break. All right, sports fans, listen up. September's here, football's back, school is in, and it's the perfect time to get your finances back in shape too. I've been checking in on my credit score lately, and let me tell you, if you're a member at TrueMark Financial Credit Union, you've already got a serious edge. They've got this free tool called Savvy Money right inside their online banking and mobile app. I use it myself, and seriously, it's like having your own financial coach in your pocket. You can check your credit score anytime without taking a hit. You get tips on how to improve it and even get alerts if anything changes. That's what I call playing smart defense with your money. So if you're already on Team TrueMark, fire up that app and check out Savvy Money today. And if you're not a member, what are you waiting for? Step up your financial game. Swing by one of their 24 branches or visit TrueMark.com/PHLY to open an account. TrueMark Financial Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA. And it's time to tell you about Parx Casino, because whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You got to check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and the BetParx exclusive Fireblaze Sky Queen. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games in the palm of my hand. They've got blackjack, they've got roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra. But that's not all. They've also got slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead and Peaky Blinders. And right now, new users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Just go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, before we continue, we're 98 likes. We got to at least get to the triple digits. I want to get to 200. That's the way it was before the vacation.
Yes.
But at the very least,
we're back, baby.
We got to get to triple digits.
We're back, and we need you to be back, too. Hockey season is starting. It's training camp for all of us right now.
Face on.
But come on. Here it is. Rookie camp starts this week. We got games this weekend.
Sure do.
Let's go. All right. So you also, part of your top 20 thing that you do, Charlie, is you get to sit down twice a year with assistant general manager Brent Flahr and kind of just go through the list and ask him the organization's thoughts on the players. And that's where I want to go today. You put out 2 articles on this. One was the wingers, the other centers, D, and goalies. So I want to start with the wingers and go a little deeper into each position group.
Yeah,
today we'll do wingers. Number 1 with Martone. And this, to me, is the question. I don't think people are seriously concerned, but maybe it just needed saying out loud from somebody in the organization. Because he wanted to come in and try to make the team.
He did.
But it doesn't seem like they told him no. They just had collective conversations where everyone kind of weighed in and decided college was the way to go.
Yeah, I think the most reassuring thing that I heard in this interview about Martone from Flahr, and I don't think it was a coincidence that he made sure to say it, was the positive relationship that the Flyers have with Martone's parents.
He mentioned his parents.
His parents. He said, his dad was a player. His dad knows like what you have to do to get to this stage because he's in the hockey world.
Yeah.
I had heard rumblings very early that Gautier's parents were not the easiest people to deal with. This was before anything went bad.
I, for one, am shocked.
And I just get the sense that like that's intentional. That Flair saying like, well, we have a great relationship with the parents, and he's not saying it, but kind of like this time we're real good with them. Everything's great. We have an open line of communication, and it was more like if anything, it was more the parents telling Martone like maybe it's better if you go to college for a year than the Flyers doing it.
And he snuck into like, listen, it's about you being the best player you're gonna be when you're 25, not making the team at 18, 19. And that's where the dad's like, his dad knows that. Yeah. And we had these conversations with the parents and they decided on college. So while there may have been a conversation like, hey, I want to try to play in the NHL this year, they're like, you're too good for the CHL. We just don't want to send you back there. And it doesn't seem like it was ever contentious. It was just a conversation.
Right. And that's because it wasn't the Flyers' fault the last time. Like, you were dealing with a kid who is clearly a little bit of an a-hole. Porter Martone, maybe not an a-hole.
Hopefully not. So, like, he didn't seem like one.
People. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just like this whole idea that, like, okay, well, the Flyers made sure not to mess it up this time. They like talked to his parents and they gave him advice and they didn't screw it up like they did the last time. No, one of these kids is a good kid that wants to do the right thing and have a good NHL career. The other one is a cocky little pain in the butt who
you had to really think that.
I know.
The wheels turning like Phil Myers.
What am I allowed to say?
He didn't get his way and he threw a little hissy fit about it. Like, these are two different people.
I will say, I think maybe the Flyers, like, if they weren't at fault last time, this is like, but we know we got to do a little extra.
Yeah,
we know we got
to be super
let's
careful
get some
now,
extra
for
credit
sure.
here.
Yeah.
And also, I will say, while maybe it's a regime change, so you can't blame the actual people, the state of the Flyers organization is maybe a little to blame, like, because they didn't feel comfortable bringing him into a locker room that was in shambles, so perhaps that had a little bit something to do with it. But this does seem like just a more mature kid than Cutter. All right,
William.
No, why do we have to give him my name?
I didn't do it.
William. Billy Goat.
Parents did it.
Number 5, Alex Bump came up in your. He's number 5 prospect on the list. He came up in your conversation. Could you tell just how excited they are about this guy?
Oh yeah. And that was actually the final question I asked him, where it was, and Flair didn't take the bait. He didn't take the bait. He went in a different direction. But my question was more or less like, look, I can tell you guys are real excited about this guy because not just because you like him, but because you found him in the 5th round. And it's like, oh, we found this, like, it's like found money. Yeah. It's like you put your hand in the couch and you pull out a $10 bill. It's like, oh, I got to spend it on something important because I didn't even know I had this. I asked him, how do you temper expectations knowing that on some level you guys are extra excited because you shouldn't have gotten a guy this good in the 5th round? And he dodged the question. He more or less spun it to be like, well, we have to make sure that he doesn't, that he realizes that after the draft, it doesn't matter. You've jumped people that were taken higher than you because you've just worked harder and been better than them. But no, they love this kid. They absolutely love this kid. I think one thing that Flair noted in the interview, which I thought was interesting, and another thing that they're just going to absolutely love, he apparently showed up to the World Junior Summer Showcase.
Yeah.
Bump did, just to like say hi to like Flair and like the other prospects on the Flyers that were playing at the Summer Showcase. Oh no, this kid has
obsessed with him.
This kid has decided to do all of the right things.
And that's like on top of that, just like, and well, before that happened, he did the whole, I'm not going to play in 1 or 2 NHL games. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Let me do the PTO down with the or the ATO, I guess it was, down with the Phantoms and get my feet wet there. How much did they just gobble that up.
They ate that up. They loved it.
They went I could just see like
Yes.
like oh my god, they're in love with this kid. I feel like.
Well, he noted too, and this again, maybe this speaks to one of the reasons why they love this guy so much. He noted that it's not the first time in recent years that a Flyers prospect did what Bump did. Another guy who did it was Hunter McDonald. So it does seem like that
other
path,
favorite.
yeah, that engenders a lot of goodwill with the organization when you do that.
Like, don't burn a year,
men.
go learn and try hard.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden you're just a little bit more on our minds because we know we can trust you.
Nice kid, tries hard, loves the game.
Yeah, man. All right, number 6, Denver Barkey. I think right now the most important question is he healthy?
And I was assured that he is. They are confident. It seems like them holding out, particularly Barkey and Bonk at development camp, was more like there's no need. You played until you played until the end of the previous month. There's no reason to run you guys into the into the meat grinder here. Luchenko, it seems like the groin injury is a little bit of a concern, which is worrying. We'll see. Jordan Hall had a report earlier this week saying like, well, we're hopeful. We're hopeful that when he comes and our doctors look at him that everything's good. But I would much rather have heard, yeah, everything's great. He's good to go. He's going to make this team. So we'll see. But I get the sense that Bonk and Barkey were more like, hey, they just played the Memorial Cup. Why are we going to force these guys out there to just like tweak an ankle and mess up the rest of their summer? This is dumb. No, Barkey's fine. Now it just comes down to how he's going to do at the pro level. And I'm fascinated to see it because, again, he's one of those guys where, like, if he hits the ground running and is awesome right off the bat, you're like, oh, man, he could be a real good player, or he could be Massimo Rizzo.
There you go. The one thing I found interesting beyond the health stuff, when you talk about hitting the ground running, we've all just kind of been like, yeah, man, Barkey's going to spend a season, maybe a season and a half or 2 in the AHL because he has to.
Yeah.
Didn't sound like Flahr was like, oh, yeah, that's... And listen, you have to obviously not say right away, we don't see it in the NHL for you for 5 years. You know, that's insane.
Of course not.
But he kind of was like, well... Maybe not. Maybe he could be here a lot sooner.
I think there is a world, and it all just comes down to how he plays in the AHL.
Yeah.
Because if he struggles in the AHL, obviously it's going to take time. Maybe he doesn't make it at all. But if it's February and he's got 35 points in 55 games, I think they would call him up for a game or 2.
I hope so.
I don't think they would necessarily call him up to stay, but maybe if injuries hit, like, yeah, let's give this kid a shot. Let's give him a taste. I think that's the word that Flahr used in the interview, a taste. Okay. But I do think the idea is if he's good next year in the AHL, maybe he gets a couple games, and then next camp, he's right there. That's the hope, and we'll see how it translates.
That would be nice.
Number 7 on the top 20 list, Jack Murtagh. Sounds like there's a little bit of a discrepancy between the general consensus of his hockey sense and what the Flyers see.
Yes, they seem to see a guy who, if anything, tries too hard and then can put himself out of position. And they believe that once they implement some structure in his game, that the hockey sense is going to look a lot better. He's got all the tools. I mean, I watched him at development camp. I watched him in the lead up to the draft too, but watching him up close at development camp was another story. He can kind of do everything. He's a good skater. Like, he's a plus skater. I wouldn't say he's a speed demon, but he's an above average skater. He's got a really good shot. He can pass. He's not small. Like, this is a guy you look at and you're like, he looks like a first round pick. Yeah. He looks like a guy who should have been taken 20th rather than in the second round. The hockey sense is clearly what had some teams sour on him. Also, he didn't put up amazing numbers at the program, but that was in part, and Flahr mentioned this in the interview, they didn't really have that guy. That guy was supposed to be James Hagans, and James Hagans went to college.
Yes.
So usually the USNTDP has that Jack Hughes type.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who's going to, like...
Everybody has 15 more points.
Because he's running the power play and everybody scores more. This team didn't have it. So it was kind of more of a grinded out team, which may have made his numbers look worse than they would have been otherwise.
That's interesting.
I'm very excited to see what he can do at BU. I think he has all the tools. Now he just has to show that he can put that together into a cohesive whole that allows him to be a really good hockey player. But I think he has at the very least second liner upside. I think that's there.
All right, let's. I think we have one super chat, so let's get to 1 or 2 more of these guys. The Vansaghi quote I wanted to read is from Flahr. He's a strong kid, and he's really mature beyond his years as far as his work ethic and preparation and how he eats and how he handles himself. He's way more advanced than some of our NHL players, so he's impressed. He's impressive in that sense. Who do you think he's talking about on the NHL roster, Charlie?
That's an interesting question. I mean, Vansaghi's a big guy.
Yeah.
Vansaghi's a big guy. Like, he could be anybody.
I know.
Could be talking about Bobby Brink.
Oh, and Tippett.
Yeah.
Owen Tippett's in really good
I know,
shape.
I'm just joking.
He's in really good shape. I mean, it could be michkov, honestly. Not from a work ethic standpoint, but maybe his body.
Did you see the pictures of him at the golf thing? Oh, wait. Those are pictures Heather showed us in the Slack. Never mind. They don't exist in real life. Anyway, he looks yoked.
All right. I love to hear that.
Like the neck has grown.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Because
that
looks
jacked.
Not Charlie, and neither Charlie nor I are like pessimistic about michkov at all, but we did have a conversation recently that was like, didn't you expect a little bit more of the like Provorov style? Oh, here's a video of him pushing a tire up a mountain, like basically the Rocky IV training montage. And like we haven't seen that, and like we're not seeing it on Instagram. Doesn't mean he hasn't been working. Just expected it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's almost he's a thumb at this point.
I know.
He's just there's no
big.
I mean, if he had the big summer,
yeah.
Mike.
This could be a very, very exciting sophomore season for Matvei Michkov.
Let's do Alex Ciernik here.
He's standing on his tiptoes.
Toes.
I love that. So there's a picture that Kelly's showing us where he's standing in between two teammates, I believe.
Fedotov and what's his face?
Zamola, his two Russian teammates, and Michkov is standing on his tiptoes to try to make himself look even close to as tall as those guys. That's funny.
Fedotov 7.5 feet tall.
Short king.
I'm gonna do number 16, Alex Ciernik here. And it was interesting, just the idea of the difference between Sweden and Finland, because in my stupid brain, I think that they're the same place. But like there is like a difference between the leagues, and Flahr discussed that a little.
Yeah, he said basically that Finland actually might be a little bit more NHL-ish in terms of the game being grittier, a little bit more physical than it is in Sweden. But it's interesting, too, that Ciernik is going to play for the team that Sami Kapanen coaches. So clearly, like, Kapanen is still sort of kind of mostly a Flyers employee while also coaching a team in the Finnish Liga. So they very much have a close eye on Alex Ciernik.
The Flyers have an affiliate organization in Finland.
Which is exactly what a team with the kind of pockets the Flyers, the Comcast has, should do.
Yeah, it's
great. It's brilliant.
If Dan Hilferty wanted to buy that team, I'd be like, great. Way to go. Awesome. Yeah, like, sure, why not?
I mean, they'd probably buy a KHL team if it didn't risk them getting assassinated.
Yeah, like if it wasn't, pretty dangerous.
Yeah, like Dan Hilferty might get shot. Yeah.
Jesus.
Please don't do that.
Oh, man, the world. It's a great place.
It's wonderful.
All right. Do you guys, just real quick, and then we'll hit the super chat and get out of here. You guys think Crosby will ever leave Pittsburgh?
I don't, but I do. You put the interview that Pat Brisson's his agent, right?
Yeah.
And Pat Brisson did an interview with LeBron that came out today that sort of didn't completely slam the door. Everything I've heard from people that are close to Crosby, from people who cover the Penguins that I know, is that every time it comes up, Crosby gets mad because he never wants to leave. But it makes sense for Brisson to keep the door open.
Sure. And that's, listen, the reason I even brought it up is because Crosby didn't just say no F you to LeBron, and like he's a respectful guy, so he wouldn't.
I was gonna say he's the sweetest boy.
Like I just like it was more. He was like, I get it, I get why people speculate, and kind of didn't slam it shut. And then Brisson comes in and it's like, listen, they've been out of the playoffs 3 years in a row. The comparison is Tom Brady. He's been awesome for 20 years, and when he says the comparison is Tom Brady went somewhere else to finish his career and win another championship. Yeah. Really, the comparison is Mario because he's never leaving.
Right. I feel like if he hadn't won all those cups with Pittsburgh, maybe there would be a conversation about it.
But what's he chasing?
But no way. Yeah.
I think if anything, this article read to me as a little not so subtle nudge at the Penguins.
Hey, what are you doing?
To be like, hey, I'm cool if you guys are rebuilding, but this can't be a 5-year thing.
Yeah, like, can we, I am still pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm a legend. Maybe do something for me here. Yeah. All right. Let's hit overtime just because we're going to take the stupid. I really wanted to avoid it. I was trying to avoid it, but
You're doing good.
it's impossible.
We only have one super chat.
Only the one super chat.
A little bit.
All right, and it's from Adam S.
Adam S.
Says, just came here to say the Montreal Canadiens suck.
We are so back.
Oh man, our super chatters. I don't like. It seems when we have the donate thing set up, you can't super chat.
Okay.
But someone figures out how to
find
send
one.
one.
Yeah.
So thank you, Adam, for being that person today. For everyone else, make your donations to Big Brothers, Big Sisters,
That's
or
right.
look into becoming a Big Brother or Big Sister.
Yeah.
Hit the like button. Do it. We need likes. 123, decent, but come on.
Could be better.
It's the four of us together again. What else are you looking for?
When we get to Thursday and rookie camp has started, I'm expecting us back at 200.
I am expecting a
You don't
minimum.
want to see Charlie upset.
Minimum.
True.
You
All
never
I'm
want to
gonna
see
say.
Charlie upset.
I'm a very scary person.
It is terrifying.
But that is all the time we have for you today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, you got to hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the YouTube, and maybe consider becoming a member of the Supporters Club. It's pretty cool. You're going to get all sorts of fun stuff. All right. And follow us on all the socials. We're at PHLY_Flyers on Twitter. And watch my new show, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, 1:30 p.m.
Weekdays,
rules.
1:30 to 2. It's 30 minutes out of your day. Like, even if it sucks, it's 30 minutes. You're going to waste that amount of time today anyway.
And if you watch, hit that like button.
Yeah,
hit the like.
We need this show to succeed. Bill is too talented.
Yes.
I'm starving to death. I need more money.
You hit the likes, you do the comments, you tell Bill he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Those are the
I
requirements.
honestly, it's not even the money. It's the ego boost that I need.
That's
So make
both.
sure you watch that Monday to Friday, 1:30 right here on the PHLY YouTube. That's it. My name is Bill Matz. That's Charlie O'Connor. That's Kelly Henkel. Till tomorrow, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.